welcome to this week's edition of Wednesday Wisdom. My name is JB Hilliard, and this is a continuation of last week's video segment where we are talking about leaving a legacy. So I believe this is part three. And so where we left off last week, and if you didn't see that, you can either scroll through my social media page, or if it's easier, go to my YouTube library and pull that up under the Law Office of J.B. Hilliard. What I would like for you to do, and make it simple, is ask or interview two family members, one that's older than you are and one that's younger than you are. And just ask each of them one or two questions. Now, before I get into that, I did want to share a little bit. Growing up, when we were very young, we spent a lot of time, or more time, with my mom's side of the family than we did with my dad's side of the family. And so I got to know my mom's side, my grandmother, and a whole slew of aunts and uncles and cousins on that side, and not as much. My father's parents passed away when we were young, and so I didn't get to know them, and I just didn't spend a lot of time with a lot of the extended family on dad's side. And so when I lost my dad's last sibling a couple years ago, it really touched me because I failed to make any further connections and kind of delve deeper into the family tree like I had always wanted to. I just kind of put it off. You know how we do. We put things off and put things off to the point where there's no return. And then when everyone's gone, then everyone's gone. So I do regret not having done that. So with that said, the challenge to you and to myself is to reach out to a family member that you don't normally communicate with. So I know we're all kind of still on lockdown during this COVID-19 pandemic. So maybe you have a little more time on your hands now, or maybe you need something to do. I don't know how anybody can be bored. I hate that B word, bored, with access to technology. But if you are by chance bored, here's something for you to do. So again, I go back to my assignment for this week in building your own legacy and leaving a legacy is to interview a family member, one older and one younger. And it doesn't have to be multiple generations older or younger, but just someone, maybe your aunt and uncle, or an older cousin, and then just ask them a couple questions that will help you understand the family better, understand the family dynamics a little better, or just information you want to know that you've always wondered about and didn't really have a succinct answer on. So you can start off simple by saying something like, and I jotted down a couple before I started the video. So let me look and see what I did. For instance, you might ask, who were you named after? I know my mom was named after her mom. And my grandmother actually named me. Now, of course, she didn't name me JB. That's my postmodern adult name, my legal name now, but that's not my birth name, of course. And my grandmother named me. And I'm so thankful because my grandmother and my mom's side is from Alabama. And I used to always kid my mom and say, I'm glad she didn't give me a Bama name. Now, I don't mean to offend anybody from Alabama, but I mean that lovingly, because again, my mom was named after her mom. So anyway, get a little TMI here. But I never sat down and really asked her how she came up with my name. And that might have, sparked some interesting conversation with my grandmother. And I hate that I never really asked her that specific question, but that's a question you could start off with some family members of your own. And then if you want to delve a little deeper, you might ask something along the lines of what major event happened in your early days, in your early years, that shaped the way you are now. And of course, with us in the generation right now, we could easily point to the racial conflicts going on in the country now that is starting to shape our young people and getting them politically involved, which is great. So there's always a positive to every negative, but there have been these major events along life's timeline that may have shaped certain family members. So that might be a question you could ask, or maybe even something as simple as what else did I think about? Of course, values. So what values you would be asking this? What values were passed down to you from your parents or grandparents? Or what values are you passing on, or did you want to pass on, or have you passed on to your children or grandchildren? So depending on where you are in that family line or family spectrum. So that's this week's assignment, to find family members, one older, one younger, at least one each, and ask them a couple of probing questions to try to get a feel for more of the family history and the family legacy. So I hope you have fun with that, and I hope you do reach out to some folks who would probably be very pleasantly surprised to hear from you. And I look forward to hearing about some of that. If you would share that with me, either on my Facebook page or my LinkedIn page, or just shoot me an email directly, jb@jblaw.biz. You'll see at the end of the video. And I look forward to hearing from you on how that is going. In the meantime, as always, I thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.